Did you know Bolivar's military campaigns covered over 4,000 miles and Bolivar's forces fought over 100 battles against Spanish troops? Simon Bolivar was a Venezuelan military and political leader who led what are currently the countries of Colombia, Venezuela, Ecuador, Peru, Panama, and Bolivia to independence from the Spanish Empire. He is known colloquially as the Liberator of America. Simon Bolivar, born on 24 July 1783 in Caracas, Venezuela, was part of the wealthy Bolivar family. His childhood, described as both privileged and deprived, was marked by the death of his father in 1786 and his mother in 1792. Raised separately from his siblings and mother by African house slaves, Simon grew close to a slave named Hippolyta. In 1797, Rodriguez's exile led Bolivar to join an honorary military commission as an officer. He was sent to Madrid to join his uncle Esteban. Bolivar received education from Geronimo Enrique y Ustras y Tovar. A falling out at court led to Esteban's arrest, Bolivar's banishment, and an engagement with Maria Teresa Rodriguez del Toro y Alesa. After travels to Bilbao and Paris, Bolivar returned to Madrid in 1802. After Maria Teresa's death from yellow fever in Caracas, Bolivar, devastated, vowed not to remarry. In December 1803, he left for Europe, consoling his father-in-law in Madrid before traveling to Paris with friend Fernando Rodriguez del Toro. Bolivar engaged in social circles, had a dalliance with the Countess d'Urville du Villers, and embarked on a grand tour to Italy in April 1805. Witnessing Napoleon's coronation in Milan and inspired by experiences in Rome, particularly at the Mons Caesar, Bolivar solidified his commitment to end Spanish rule in the Americas on 18 August 1805. In April 1806, Bolivar sought passage to Venezuela, reaching Charleston in January 1807. After a 6-month journey through the United States, he returned to Philadelphia and sailed back to Venezuela in June 1807. In Caracas, he became involved in a property dispute instead of focusing on independence discussions. In 1807-8, news of Napoleon's invasion of the Iberian Peninsula reached Venezuela, leading Creoles, including Bolivar, to resist Spanish rule. In November 1808, Creoles, including Bolivar, presented a petition for an independent government, resulting in arrests and warnings. By 1810, French victories in Spain led to the dissolution of the anti-French Spanish government. On 19 April 1810, Creoles deposed the Spanish-appointed governor, creating the Supreme Junta of Caracas. Bolivar, absent during the coup, returned to offer diplomatic services. In June 1810, he, along with Lopez Mendez and Andres Bello, went to Britain to seek support. Although unsuccessful, Bolivar convinced Miranda to return to Venezuela. Bolivar and Miranda, co-founders of the Patriotic Society advocating independence, initially campaigned for Miranda's election. The Congress shifted towards independence in July 1811, leading to Venezuela's declaration of independence on 5 July. Facing opposition, the weak republic encountered challenges from conservative whites, disenfranchised people of color, and hostile provinces. After an earthquake in March 1812 and royalist advances, Bolivar assumed command in Puerto Cabello. The royalists overran western Venezuela, forcing Bolivar's retreat to La Guaira in July. Miranda's unexpected capitulation led to tensions, with Bolivar arresting him for treason. La Guaira declared for the royalists, resulting in Miranda's imprisonment and death in Quito in 1816. On 31 July 1812, Bolivar escaped La Guaira, seeking refuge in Caracas with Francisco Iturbiz's assistance. He sailed to Curacao, then Cartagena, and recaptured Cucuta with Manuel del Castillo y Rada. Initiating the admirable campaign in May 1813, Bolivar reclaimed Venezuela, earning the title the Liberator. In 1814, he became dictator of the Second Republic, facing internal strife and external threats. Boes and his Legion of Hell captured Caracas in July 1814. Bolivar, accused of treachery, retreated to Cartagena and was exiled to Jamaica. He returned in December 1815, capturing Bogota. A truce with Del Castillo led to Bolivar's self-exile to Jamaica in May 1816. Royalists, led by Pablo Murillo, took control of Cartagena in December 1816. Arriving in Kingston, Jamaica in May 1815, Bolivar reflected on fallen republics. His Jamaica letter in September outlined his vision for the Americas. News from Renato Baluch prompted Bolivar to join the Republican community in Haiti. After surviving an assassination attempt, he left Jamaica for Haiti in January 1816, with support from Alexander Pachen. Sailing to Margarita Island in May, Bolivar emancipated slaves, but internal conflicts led to his deposition in August. Returning to Haiti, Pachen continued supporting Bolivar. In December 1816, Bolivar sailed back to Venezuela, faced challenges, and was ousted by Murillo in August 1817. After reconciling with Murillo, Bolivar moved south to Guyana. meeting Piar, besieging Angostura, and establishing the Republican capital. Bolivar formalized political structures and gained PEZ recognition. Advancing, Republicans defeated Murillo and Calabozo. Bolivar's march towards Caracas faced setbacks, and he returned to Angostura in May 1818, focusing on administration and rebuilding for the upcoming Congress. In February 1819, Bolivar was elected president during the Congress in Angostura, advocating for centralized government and racial equality. In May, he revealed a plan to liberate New Granada, entering Casanare province in June and uniting the Santander. Crossing the Andes in July, they defeated the Royalists at the Battle of Boyaca in August. Bolivar entered Bogota, aiming to merge New Granada and Venezuela. After further campaigns, he returned to Angostura in December, defusing a conspiracy. On 17 December, the Congress created the Republic of Colombia. Bolivar directed campaigns along the Caribbean, meeting Santander in 1820. Peace talks ensued due to the liberal constitution in Spain and the Cadiz Mutiny, resulting in treaties signed in November 1820. Bolivar and Murillo signed the treaties. Murillo departed for Spain. In February 1821, Bolivar learned of Maracaibo's defection and hostilities resumed in April. Bolivar and Pease decisively defeated La Torre at Carabobo in June, eliminating Royalist forces in Venezuela. Bolivar entered Caracas, issuing a decree in July dividing Venezuela into 3 zones. Meeting the Congress of Cucuta in September, he accepted the presidency of Gran Colombia on 3 October despite concerns about military leaders as heads of state. After Carabobo, Bolivar targeted Pasto, Quito, and Peru. Sucre's victory at Pichincha in May 1822 secured Quito and Pasto. A meeting with San Martin in Guayaquil ended without agreement. San Martin resigned. In 1823, Bolivar annexed Ecuador, quelled rebellions, and aided Peru against Royalists. Arriving in Lima in September 1823, internal conflicts and a divided Peru awaited him. Riva Adguero was exiled, Tegal briefly defected, and Bolivar became dictator in February 1824. Strained relations with Santander led Bolivar to Huancayo, while Sucre led the army. The Battle of Junin in August expelled Royalists from Peru. Heavy rainfall paused Bolivar's advance. Santander informed him of the loss of authority. Bolivar reoccupied Lima in December, and Sucre decisively defeated the Royalists at Ayacucho. Bolivar besieged Callao, and Sucre eliminated Olanita in Upper Peru by April 1825. In early 1825, Bolivar resigned from Colombian and Peruvian positions, but Peru extended his dictatorship. He initiated reforms, including a Joseph Lancaster-inspired school system. Touring southern Peru, a Congress declared the region Bolivia on 6 August, naming Bolivar president. Resisting intervention in the Cisplatin War, he appointed Sucre to govern Bolivia. Bolivar left for Peru in January 1826, sending the Bolivian constitution to Sucre. Ratified in July, a modified version was accepted in Peru in August. Pease revolted in Venezuela, and a Congress in Panama organized by Bolivar produced no change. Responding to calls to return to Colombia, Bolivar left Peru in September, leaving it under Bolivian General Andres de Santa Cruz's governance. In September 1826, Bolivar, declared dictator by Guayaquil and Quito, addressed complaints, promoted officers, and commuted sentences while traveling north. Reconciling the Santander, he resumed the presidency in Bogota in November. Going to Puerto Cabello, he offered amnesty to Pease, entered Caracas together. A rift with Santander in 1827 led to Bolivar's resignation amid an amnesty clash and opposition in Peru. Returning to Bogota in 1827, Bolivar called for a new Congress in Ocana, but opponents gained traction. Assuming supreme power in Colombia in August 1828 after the Convention of Ocana faltered, Bolivar faced political turmoil and exiled Santander after an assassination attempt. In December 1828, he left for South America, responding to crisis and announcing plans for a new constitution. During his absence, Colombia experienced internal conflicts and regional secession movements. Bolivar returned in January 1830, submitted his resignation, and the Admirable Congress accepted it in April, ushering a period of political transition and regional changes. In May 1830, facing health and political challenges, Bolivar sold possessions and went into exile. Learning of Sucre's July assassination, Bolivar moved to Barranquilla, later to Quinta de San Pedro Alejandrino, where he died on December 17, 1830, aged 47, due to tuberculosis. Initially interred in Santa Marta, his remains were repatriated to Caracas in 1842. Conspiracy theories, including President Chavez suggesting poisoning, led to an inconclusive 2011 investigation. Chavez persisted in his claims, but the arsenic likely came from medicines Bolivar had taken. Bolivar's vast legacy includes Venezuela and Bolivia naming currencies after him. Known as Latin America's George Washington, he is globally honored through monuments, towns, and the UNESCO Simon Bolivar Prize. President Hugo Chavez even renamed Venezuela in his honor.